Hi everyone, I'm going to show you now how you can actually create a new user inside of Zoho One. And we are also going to associate a role to that user and add them to certain applications that they need to have access to. So logging into Zoho One, you will need to visit one.zoho.com and you'll need to log in with your administrator username and password. Once you've done that, on the left-hand side, click on Admin Panel, and on the top right-hand corner, select Onto Users. And in here, it will actually say that there are currently 4 users in the system on the left-hand side. You'll probably only see one or many. What we do is we click the plus button here where the little character is, and over on the right-hand side, it says you have used 4 users out of 5. What that means is the subscription that you're on is only eligible to be able to buy more licenses for staff, or you're able to include new users into your Zoho One subscription if you have a license for those specific users, and each license does cost money. So it's 1 license per 1 user. It's 1-to-1 ratio, and there is a fee for every license. So in this instance, we're going to create James in the system here. And we're going to add his email address in here. And then we're going to assign him to some applications. So we want him to have access to analytics. We want to have access to campaigns. And if we scroll down, we also want to give him CRM access. Now, if we go back to analytics, on the right-hand side here, you'll see that there's a cross-out area, which means that there's no roles inside of the application analytics. So we can't assign him any roles in the instance of this because we haven't got any set. So if you see this come up, it means that inside the application, in the settings of that application, there are no roles assigned. Going down to campaigns now, you'll see that we can select this drop-down menu and there are 4 here to choose from. So in this instance, James is going to be a standard user, so we don't want him deleting data and deleting certain things. We just want him to be able to create a campaign, edit some of the standard templates in there, and then send a marketing campaign out. But we don't want him deleting things, importing and exporting data. So he's just going to become a standard user. And scrolling down now to the CRM, same thing. So we've got the role again. And if we select that, we can see that now there's a hierarchy of roles in CRM. So we have a CEO, a manager, a supervisor, a team leader, and then a team member. So this way you're able to kind of segment data between one team member and multiple team members. So this team member is under this team leader, and this could be team leader 1, and then you could also have team leader 2, and then team member 3, and he's under that other team member, and they can't see each other's data. So this is all about visibility inside the organization. So when you're in CRM, you'll have modules at the top called leads, contacts, organizations. You can make it that certain people can't see those modules and hide them based on whatever person or role they are assigned here. So in this instance, James is just a team leader, so he will be assigned the team leader role. Going down to the profile section now, there is a standard profile and then there is an administrator profile. So remember, the difference between profiles and roles is that a role is about visibility and a profile is about editing, deleting, and modifying records inside of the system. So if they're an administrator, they're going to be able to mass import, mass export data, mass delete data, delete and edit records inside of the system, add new records, change fields around to be different values, whereas a standard user is really only going to be able to log into the system, create records, and modify and edit them. And that's basically it. They're not going to be able to do anything seriously harmful to the system. So in this instance, we don't want him doing anything harmful to the system, so we're going to create him as a standard user. And then we go ahead and select add. Now, we haven't finished just there. So this is now telling you that you've created an analytics user for this person and they're under the user profile. You can edit or delete it from here. Campaigns, they're a standard user and you can edit or delete there. And the CRM is assigned as a team leader, okay, for the role. And then the profile is after that. Once again, you can edit and delete there if you need to. You can send them a notification email to tell them that their account is now active at this email address. I highly recommend that you leave that ticked because they're going to need to set a password when they go to log into the system. You don't do that, they do that. And then you go ahead and you select add. And that allows you to now see here that they are pending. And when we select on the pending, you will see here that we can set them as deactive, which means that maybe the email address is wrong, maybe they never need to get into the system and use it. So you can deactivate them and that'll free up your licenses. You can resend the invitation. So they might say, oh, I didn't get the email, or maybe the email mapping wasn't configured, or they accidentally deleted the email, or it's gone to spam and they can't find it, or the trash icon, or the junk folder. You can resend the invitation by clicking that one little button there if you need to. Or you can also just delete it altogether. You can edit the person's profile, so you can set their time zone, what language they speak, their mobile and phone number for your company records from this section here. And you can also assign them to groups as well. In this case, we have no groups, but inside of Zoho One, you can create groups and things like that inside of the organization. Let's say, for instance, you've got a financial planning section, and then you have, let's say, an accountancy or bookkeeping section. You can create these groups, and then further integration into other systems later on can be a little bit more separate. But you need a very large organizations to consider using groups. It creates a lot more complexity that may not need to be in there for a medium-sized business. That's how you add a new staff member to the system. And after they've accepted this invitation and they have created a password, they will no longer, you will no longer see the pending here. It will just be like these other ones in here.